We are learning more about the actual television set State Superintendent Ryan Walters has in his office, and its capabilities are a bit more complex than what Walters described in his news conference yesterday as a simple cable TV connection. Tonight, we're continuing to go in depth on the investigation into Walters, and I'm also addressing claims by Walters supporters that the Oklahoma County Sheriff, Walters supporters say, promised or said something to Walters that he was going to be fine or cleared. But first, let's get to this letter. The first examination of the TV, two state school board members say they saw naked women displayed on. After State Superintendent Ryan Walters lashed out at State Board of Education members and Governor Kevin Stitt Tuesday.
What we've seen transpire over the last 5 days is the nastiest, biggest lie ever lodged at an official in Oklahoma.
He offered a few details as to the TV in question. The TV two state school board members say had naked women on it.
This is cable TV news is what we're talking about, folks.
While Walters says it was a simple TV and cable setup, a preliminary report by the Oklahoma Office of Management and Enterprise Services given to state lawmakers shows the TV is a bit more high-tech. That preliminary OMES report was shared with Fox 23 News by state Capitol sources. It begins with acknowledging a complaint by an unnamed board member who asked all of Walters' devices to be seized and searched for pornographic material. Quote, requesting to file a formal complaint and request that his computers, personal devices, and cell phones used by him at his office using government resources be preserved to ensure any pornography be preserved. OMES then contacted Walters on Monday morning seeking to examine the TV in his office. The report says on Monday afternoon, 3 Oklahoma County Sheriff's deputies, OMES, and a third-party vendor did a preliminary examination of the TV in Walters' office at the center of the nude image claims. The TV itself is like this one, a 55-inch ultra-high-definition Samsung Smart TV. The report does not mention a cable box, but says the TV has cable access, streaming services, an antenna, and also connected to it was a DVD player empty at the time of examination. OMES says the TV was connected to the state's open Wi-Fi network. It is possible, the report says, to screencast to the TV, but the ability to do so is password protected, and a one-time password is needed to do so. As investigators went deeper into the device, they say they found the search history was, quote, empty. The TV itself, the report states, was not originally Walters. It belonged to a former Department of Education employee and only recently had been moved into the superintendent's office last month. The former employee's YouTube TV account was still connected to it, but it was operating under a new IP address. The OMES report also states, quote, due to the hundreds of preloaded apps on the TV, the streaming services were not given a full review as the TV remained on site. During the investigation, Walters told investigators that people like staff come in and out of his office all the time on board meeting days, and even insisted members of the public also have access to his office on the first floor of the Hodge building. As Fox 23 has reported, it has requested through the Open Records Act keycard swipes and security camera video of the hallway in front of his office for the time the board meeting was going on. At the end of the OMES letter, it says the agency does not have the full power to seize all of the devices requested by the unnamed board member and realized they don't have the full authority to conduct such an investigation that was requested and handed it off to the Oklahoma County Sheriff's Office without reaching any conclusions. The OMES letter to lawmakers does reveal that the smart TV did not enter into any investigator's custody until Monday afternoon. The OMES letter says it was first contacted by a board member late last week. At that time, the request asked for all devices of Walters to be confiscated and examined for, quote, pornographic material. OMES began doing its work on Monday, but only on the TV, and whatever contents it was holding was not in official law enforcement hands for 3.5 entire days. Law enforcement did not examine the TV in the Hodge building on the state capitol campus until Monday afternoon. We have asked if the TV was secured or if anyone had access to it and its data and its contents between the end of the board meeting and Monday afternoon, but no one is responding to our questions on that. The OMES letter to state lawmakers shared with Fox 23 also continues to refute Walters' claims that 2 agencies have cleared him. Here he is again, saying he is clear on Tuesday.
We have had our name cleared by both OMES and the Sheriff's Office. There is nothing scandalous that I was a part of whatsoever.
The OMES letter does not make any final conclusions about the status of its investigation or its findings. In the second to last line of the letter, it is official position of the OMES that, quote, "We are currently awaiting further word from the Oklahoma County Sheriff's Office. At this time, we cannot determine definitively whether or not an incident took place." This morning, Oklahoma County Sheriff Tommy Johnson appeared on numerous Oklahoma City TV stations to say he never promised Walters he was cleared or that this would be a fast and simple investigation. Fox 23 then spoke with the sheriff's office, who clarified the sheriff never actually even spoke face-to-face with Walters at all. They've only had one phone call about the case, and no promises or conclusive statements were made about the investigation. Sheriff Tommy Johnson was interviewed on the KRMG Afternoon News with Skylar Cooper tonight. And Johnson reiterated the claims made by Walters that he was told he was cleared are false, and then said such claims disrespected his agency and their work.
I am very well aware, and I understand Mr. Walters wants to get this thing behind him, but to put out a statement that's blatantly false such as that, what I believe it does is it tarnishes the reputation of this agency, the Oklahoma County Sheriff's Office, to suggest that we would do such a lackluster job when we have been tasked to perform an investigation. As I've said, I don't care what side anyone falls on. I just want to see that the truth prevails.
Initially, the Oklahoma State Bureau of Investigation was just standing by to investigate further if any criminal activity or wrongdoing was detected to be found by the Oklahoma County Sheriff's Office. Now the Oklahoma County District Attorney herself says they need to get involved now and not wait. Oklahoma County DA Vicky Bahena announced this afternoon she is asking the OSBI to look into last Thursday's Board of Education executive session for themselves. She did not even name Walters by name, but said the agency needs to look into, quote, the Superintendent of Public Instruction. And then she went on to say, and anyone else who may have had the ability to illegally display obscene material on any state device during the meeting. She says if nothing is found, at the very least, a thorough and proper investigation would clear any individual and bring resolution to the matter. After Walters' Tuesday's news conference was finished, two board members who have said on the record to this station that they saw fully naked women on Walters' TV released a new statement in response to Walters' remarks and even threats of consequences. They said, quote, "No board member has accused Superintendent Walters of anything. We only brought to attention to the inappropriate content on a TV, content that would cause a teacher in our state to lose their license. As the investigation continues, we urge Superintendent Walters to cooperate with law enforcement and refrain from smearing the names, characters, and reputation of board members." As the Oklahoma County Sheriff said when the superintendent claimed the investigation was over, this investigation is actually still in its infancy. And while we would like all of the answers now, we are going to have to wait while devices are scanned, people are interviewed, and for all we know, legal paperwork even has to be filed to get some of these things. The superintendent took to social media last night around 9 p.m. to post a new video, and he just repeated some of the same things he said in his news conference that you've already heard. We are continuing to dig into this, but it may not be on the news every day. When we get new developments, we will bring them to you.